Hey everyone, it's Jen, and welcome to today's practice, which is called Practice Relaxation. We are turning to face the left long side of the yoga mat. The blanket's going to be just off to the side so it's out of your way. And if you think you may end up wanting to use your set of yoga blocks, set those off the left side of your mat, left long side. We're going to begin with some standing poses. In the second half of this standing pose series, we'll start to emphasize forward fold. So, the second half of our practice really will be emphasizing that action of forward folding. Still doing some active poses, but the forward folds, by their very nature, help to shift us into a place where we feel a little greater sense of calmness and relaxation. So as you turn to face out to the left long side of the mat, standing about in the center of your yoga mat, feet can be hip bone distance apart or maybe even a little bit wider. You're going to take your hands up to the heart center in prayer and just going to give just a little bit of activation of the hands in toward one another. As you exhale, feel your shoulders release down the back just a bit so the sides of your neck feel open, crown of the head reaching up. One more deep round of inhale and exhale here. Okay, as you're breathing in, we're going to send the arms down and circle them out to the side, stretching them up by the sides of the face. As you exhale, you're going to take the palms, turn them down, and you're going to press your palms down in front of your body nice and slow. And as you're doing that, you might even bend your knees slightly, just sinking nice and deep into the feet. Big breath in, circle sweep your arms. Feel your side waist lifting up and out of the pelvis. Exhale, turn your palms down and just gently press your palms down. Slight bend in the knees. Feel your feet root down. One more time. Deep breath in. Sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, turn your palms to face down. Press down with the palms. As you're breathing in, sweep your arms out to the side. Stretch your arms all the way up by your ears. You're going to exhale, take the left hand to the left thigh and arc the body over into a side bend. Inhale as you flow back up through the center, extended mountain shape, reaching up. Exhale, right hand to right thigh, arc the body over. Let's go again to each side. So inhale, come through the center, reach up. Exhale, left hand to left thigh, arc the body over. Inhale as you come back up through the center, fingertips stretching up. Exhale, right hand coming down as you arc into that side bend. Breathe in, stretch your fingertips up toward the sky, prayer hands joining together over the crown of your head, and exhale as you bring your prayer hands down into your heart. We're going to let the hands release. We're going to take the feet out just a little bit wider now. So we're going to end up turning the left toes to face the short side of the mat. So as you take that nice big wide stance with your feet, turn your left toes to face forward. Now, before we get moving here, you can check your stance by bending your left knee, and you want to see if you can get the knee pretty much stacked over the ankle. Just knowing that if when you bend the knee, if the knee goes out over, your feet are a little bit narrow. Okay, so here's our breath in. As you exhale, you're going to start to straighten your left knee as that left hand starts to come down and the right arm just reaches up. So the hand can just land lightly on the shin. So as you breathe in, bend your left knee, send your arms out from your heart. Exhale, allow the left knee to straighten and take that right arm and tip it up. We're going to do that one more time. So breathe in, allow your left knee to bend, warrior two. Exhale, left knee will move toward straight. Doesn't necessarily mean it is straight, just moving towards straight as you lift that right arm up. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, release your hands to your hips. Press into your left foot, straighten your knee. We're going to switch the feet. So turn your left toes back to face the side. Turn your right toes to face the short side of your mat. Bend your right knee and then allow your arms to sweep open and out to the side, warrior two position. Now, as you take that next exhalation, you're going to start to move your right knee towards straight as you hinge over that leg, and that top arm lifts up toward the ceiling. And as you breathe in, let your right knee once again rebend. Exhale, start to move the right knee towards straight. You're just taking this just really light hinge of the torso into triangle shape. One more time. Breathe in. Right knee bends. Exhale, right knee moves towards straight. The arm is lifting up. And then as you breathe in, let your right knee bend. Release your hands down to your hips. Press strong into your right foot. Straighten your right knee and turn all 10 toes to face the long side of the mat. So if you need to, heel toe the feet in an inch or two. Hands are to the hips. Breathe in. Draw your elbow points back. Tailbone is going to slightly draw down. You're going to lift up through the center of your chest. And as you exhale, we're going to start to bring the body forward. So as you start that transition, you do want to feel just a little bit of extra weight come into the balls of the feet. The low belly is going to draw into the spine. You're going to reach the crown of the head to the side of the room. Now, once your body's about parallel to the floor, you're going to lower your hands down to the blocks or to your yoga mat. Now, as the hands come down onto the blocks or the mat, we're going to take halfway lift with the spine. So reach out through the crown of the head. Your spine and your torso is about parallel to the floor. And then as you exhale, let your elbows bend. And you can start to fold your body in toward that space between the two legs. And then breathe in, lift the belly. Reach back out through the crown of the head, and then exhale, you're just folding in toward the space. So belly, chest, release through the neck and the head. Let's do that one more time. Press into your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. So lengthen out through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, folding the torso in. Now this time we're going to stay forward with the body, but we are going to take the torso into wide stance downward dog. So you can walk your hands or maybe hands and blocks forward. So feet are going to stay wide. Hands are going to walk off of the yoga mat. Hands as least as wide as your shoulders, maybe a little wider. Then you're going to release through the heart. Heart almost feels like it's pressing toward that space between the two legs. And you're going to draw your chin in and reach out nice and long through the crown of your head. Deep inhalation and maybe even a sighing exhalation. Just let the breath move out of the body through the mouth. Okay, after this last exhalation here, allow your hands to start to walk in. So they're coming back underneath of your shoulders. We are going to transition toward the right foot. So you may want to catch hold of those blocks if you are using them. Start to pivot your feet so that all 10 toes end up facing the front short side of the mat, and you're going to spin off of your back left heel. Now the hands are either on the yoga blocks or they can always come down to frame your front right foot on the floor. You're going to inhale here in the high lunge, and then as you're exhaling, we're going to send the hips up and back. So it's a version of pyramid pose. You can stay on the right foot or rock up onto the right heel. And then as you inhale, go back to finding that high lunge position. So bending through the right knee. And then as you're exhaling, taking your hips, moving them up and back, pyramid position. And as you're inhaling one more time, just finding that high lunge position. Exhale, sending the hips up and back. rocking to the right heel. And inhale, finding high lunge. You're going to shift your hands and maybe your blocks a little forward. So you're going to bend that back left knee, press off the foot, step forward, sway out through your hips just a bit, go side to side. Take any movements here that you'd like. Eventually coming back to the center with the feet, and inhale, press your hands down into the blocks or into your shin bones as you lift through the belly and reach to the crown of the head. And then exhale, step the right foot back. So adjust the yoga blocks if you're using them, high lunge. So here's your breath in. And as you exhale, your hips are going to start to lift up and they're moving toward the back short side of the mat as you stay flat with the foot or rock to the heel. And as you inhale, allow your left knee to once again bend. And then exhale as you feel that breath move out and that lifts your hips up, rocks you toward your left foot or left heel. And one more time, just breathe in, plant the left foot, let the hips move into that high lunge shape. And then as you're exhaling, moving the hips back and rock upon that left heel. Okay, inhale, high lunge. If you're using the blocks, move them forward. Press off that back ball of the foot and step the right foot forward. As the right foot lands again, just kind of sway out a little bit through your hips. Take any sort of movements here through the legs, the feet. Okay, and then as your feet come back down to the floor, back in the center with your body, inhale, lift the belly, reach to the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, fold into your legs. Now, take your feet an inch or two wider and connect opposite hand to opposite elbow, just kind of draping the torso momentarily. Maybe even taking a little bit of a sway with your spine. And so just know if it's bothersome at all to have the hands away from the floor, the blocks, you can always bring them back down. Okay, release the hands down, and as you're inhaling, bend your knees, make a big sweep of your arms out to the side, rise up. Now keep the elbows straight, but let the arms come forward until the arms are about parallel to the floor. You're going to take your right arm across your left arm, creating an X. Now you can give yourself a hug, referred to as the eagle hug, or you can wind your forearms around one another in the eagle position, or arms and hands. Take your feet maybe another inch or two wider. Just want to make space for the torso. You're going to breathe in here, and as you exhale, you're going to allow your knees to bend. Hinge your torso forward and let your body come into that forward fold with the eagle hug or the eagle arms. Draw your chin in just a bit. Take another inhale. And then exhale. Unwinding the arms. Begin to bend your knees again. Take your arms, circle, sweep them out. Reach them all the way up. Just a little bit of a lift of the heart. Exhale, bring your arms forward. Let your arms parallel the floor. Take your left arm, cross it on top into that X shape. Wind your arms around your heart, giving yourself a hug, or forearms wrapping around one another, or forearms and hands. Deep inhalation here. And then as you begin the exhalation, you want to allow your knees to bend. And then your torso just starts to gracefully hinge forward. So nice full bend of those knees as you come down. And then you'll just lean and see if you can draw your chin in just a bit. Just going to feel like the crown of the head is reaching down, just opening up that space around your shoulder blades. Okay, one more exhale here. The inhalation, you let your arms start to unwind. Bend your knees again. Take your arms out to the side. Let your arms sweep up. This time, as you exhale, simply swan dive your body forward. So bend your knees, open your arms out to the side, come back to that forward fold. Inhale, lift your belly, reach out through the crown of your head. We are going to transition to tabletop position. So let the blocks move to the side, plant your hands, and step your feet back and lower your knees down to the floor. So maybe take just a second. You can unfold your blanket across your yoga mat. We're going to take half downward facing dog here. So once your blanket is down, you can keep your blanket there and hips stay over knees while you walk your hands forward toward the front short side. And you're going to let your heart start to go down toward the floor. But that reach of your heart toward the floor is counterbalanced by your belly button sort of drawing in a bit toward the spine. So as that happens, you kind of scoop those low front ribs in. Draw your chin in just a bit. Okay, press strong into your hands. Start to lift your chest a bit away from the floor, and then you can kind of inch your hands in initially. And then as you start to rise, those movements of your hands under your shoulders can become a little bigger. Once you're there in tabletop, swing your legs out to one side. Okay, we're going to fold the blanket up because we're going to sit right on the edge of it. So just fold it over 1 to 2 times. Move your hips so that you're sitting right on the edge of the blanket. You're going to send your left leg straight out. Your right knee is going to bend, and it looks like seated tree position, the foot coming to the inner left knee or inner left thigh. Okay. So you can even keep a little bend in this left knee. Frame that left foot with or left leg rather, with your hand. Press through your left heel, and you're going to start to walk your hands forward, coming into this shape sometimes referred to as head to knee. So left side of the belly presses toward or into the left thigh. Chin comes in toward the chest. Might even just take a little bit of moving in your neck. Just kind of release through your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead. Okay, after your next exhalation here, we'll start to walk the hands back in, lifting the body back up. Lean the weight into your hands, switch out your legs. So send your right leg out, bend your left knee. So left sole of the foot to the inner knee or inner thigh. Maybe a bend in the right knee, press through your right heel, sit tall. And then start to take your hands down, walking them out. So the right side of the torso starts to release toward or into your right thigh, and really spread through your toes. So creating this just still, even though we're seated, just this strong foundation through your feet by pressing through the heels, spreading through the toes. Chin comes in a bit. The movement of breath and our awareness of this movement of breath allows us to find some space between the thoughts and the mind. So just stay tuned in to that circulation of inhalation, exhalation. Okay, after this next round of exhale, and slowly start to come back up. Shift weight into your hands, point your knees to the sky, rock your knees from side to side. Okay, and you can just come to your cross-leg seat. You can stay facing the short side. I'll turn to face toward you. Just sit tall. Place the backs of your hands on your knees or your thighs. Turn your palms to face up. And just take a moment here. Recognizing the flow of the breath as an important anchor point for the mind that you can pay attention to at any point throughout the day. The movement of breath and your awareness of this flow can tap you back into a sense of calmness and relaxation. Okay, let the hands come together at the heart. The light within me sees and bows to that same light that exists within you. Namaste.